Hello, I'm Miss Brogan. Welcome to our parent information event. Hopefully by the end of this you will have heard exactly what we have planned for everybody in September. Before we begin, a little bit of housekeeping. Please make sure your microphones and video remain off during the session so that it allows everybody else to hear and see what's going on. If you have any questions, please email v.brogan@olcc.banks.sch.uk so that we're able to make sure that everybody gets the answers to the questions. You can also add your questions to the chat, and during the video we will try to answer those as well.
Hello everyone, welcome to our meeting today. I'm Helen Seddon and I'm very proud to be the head teacher of Our Ladies Catholic College, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all to the Our Ladies School community and the family of Our Ladies. I know also that although the meeting is for parents, there will probably be a number of students out there who are getting ready to start school in September for the first time. So you are very welcome too. I'm very excited about you starting in September, and there are wonderful times ahead of you. This meeting is to try and alleviate any worries that you have for September. This is obviously a very, very strange time to be changing from primary school to secondary school, and I'm really sorry that you haven't had the opportunity to come into school and look round and meet us face to face. However, we're hoping that this meeting will help you, and I want to go through some of the purposes of the meeting with you. I'm going to have to share a PowerPoint, so I'm going to disappear, which is probably a good thing, and then there'll be a few PowerPoint slides. So, you're very welcome. The aims of the meeting today are to introduce some of the key school staff, to have your questions answered, because we haven't had the opportunity to have you into school and have that meeting, to show you how you can best support your child in their secondary education. Really important part of their education now starting. You may feel that they're getting quite grown up and they don't need your help and support in the same way, but they really, really do. They need you to take an interest. And also to share our expectations with you. They will start Our Ladies as children, and by the time they leave, they will be young adults, or some of them legally adults. And that is a huge and important time in their lives. So we need to help them develop their character. We use the quote from St. Oscar Romero, aspire not to have more, but to be more. And we talk about how at the end of the day, it's not what you own or possess, it's about the person that you are. So we encourage our young people to be the best that they can possibly be so they can go out and make the world a better place. But in doing that, they will have to develop some self-discipline, and they will have to take some responsibility for their own actions. And so also today we want to share our expectations with you so that you know what you can expect from us, and what we need from you too as families. So when you came to open evening, I suggested that there were two questions that you may be asking. The first one is, what do you want your child to be? Your child might already have ideas about what they want to be in the future and the career that they have in mind, and we will help them to discover that if they don't already know, and hopefully prepare themselves, and we will help them in that and getting great academic results so they can go off and do whatever they want to do in the future. But the really important question is, who do you want your child to be? And I think if I asked you all of that individually, you'd probably say you wanted them to be happy, kind and caring adults by the time they left school. As a Catholic school, I want to assure you that we will focus on those qualities as well as their academic success. Some pictures on this screen. The one of the stained glass window is actually from France, and that is Isaac and Abraham. But it actually doesn't matter who those people are. It's the hands in that picture that I want you to focus on. And the first hand I want you to focus on is that hand that's pushing the boy a little bit. We are going to have to push your child out of their comfort zone, because that's where they learn, that's where they experience new things, and that's what helps them develop into confident young adults. And you need to do that at home as well, pushing them a little bit, not too much, but pushing them just a little bit out of their comfort zone. But the second hand is really, really important too. And that's the one the little boy is clinging on to, that hand. And your children in school will be confident that they know that there is somebody there for them at all times. Our teachers have amazing relationships with our young people, so do all of our support staff, and they will know there's always someone there for them, just in the way that they know at home that there's someone there for them when they are finding things difficult. I want to assure you that we will do all we can in the next 5 years or 7 years and work with you to enable them to leave school as happy, caring and successful young adults. The relationship between home and school is really important, and you need to believe that we are doing the right thing and trust that we are doing the right thing, because I understand it is a challenging thing to send your child off to secondary school for the first time, especially when you haven't had the opportunity to spend much time in that school. So that's my bit finished. Thank you very much for joining us today. There are now going to be a series of different videos from different members of staff who hopefully will answer the questions that you have. I do hope you find it useful. You can still ask questions after that, and please feel free to get in touch with us. And we will see you in September. Thank you. Goodbye.
Hi everyone, my name is Des Coyle. I'm Deputy Head at Our Ladies Catholic College. One of my main responsibilities is monitoring the achievement and progress of all year groups from Year 7 through to Year 13. I work with progress leaders, pastoral support officers and subject leaders to make sure that your son or daughter performs as well as they can do and meets or exceeds their potential from Year 7 through to GCSE or A-level. Here at Our Ladies, we have a great track record in ensuring all students perform well at external exams after 5 or 7 years in the school and consistently feature highly in progress tables. To do this, we start by building on the successful work of their primary schools and take their current performance in Year 6 and then using established systems project that performance onto Year 11. We are then able to determine accurate interim points and use reliable assessments to monitor and track their performance. This year, as we know so well, is very different, with lockdown preventing Year 6 SATs. Because of this, we'll be using teacher assessment from primary schools, some computer-based tests which do not require revision and most importantly do not need to be worried about. We will run them after your son or daughter has had a good chance to settle in and will be just a normal part of the school day. We will also be doing some ongoing assessments in English and Maths, so we have another base point to ensure we have a full picture of your son or daughter's academic potential at Our Ladies. We will report monitoring information to you 3 times over the course of the year, together with one progress evening with their form tutor early in the first term, so you can see how your son or daughter is getting to grips with high school, and then a further full parents evening later in the year where you can speak to all of their class teachers. I hope this gives you a flavour of assessment at Our Ladies, and should you require any further information, please contact me in school and I'll be happy to discuss anything further with you. Thanks, and looking forward to seeing you in September. Goodbye.
Hello, my name is Juliet Duncan and I am one of the assistant head teachers in charge of curriculum and careers. Welcome to all the new Year 7 students and their parents. Today I'm just going to talk to you briefly about curriculum and careers. So I'm going to share my screen with you and I'm going to talk you through, first of all, a little bit about the curriculum. So we operate a 2-week timetable. It's called A and B week, and although that sounds a little bit complicated, the students actually get used to it very, very quickly. When we come back, the students will be given a timetable which they'll put in their planner, and obviously we start on an A week on the first Thursday back. So Thursday and Friday will be A week, and then we go on to B week the Monday after. So we have teaching periods of 1 hour. And there are 5 of these each day, and students take the following subjects, most of which they'll have done at primary level. The one you might not recognise is personal development, but this is what we call the subject that has PSE, citizenship, and also some careers work in there as well. In terms of classes, it's going to be slightly different this year. From September, the students are going to be taught in their form groups. Now, we do have reasons for this. This is a time we feel for nurturing them and for making sure that their friendships are established and that they have a settled return to school. And we feel that's really, really important, particularly in the light of COVID-19 and the fact that many students will have been out of school since March. So in their form groups, they'll be taught in a base room for most of the day, as we're having to bubble year groups. We're trying also to bubble the form groups as much as we can to reduce contact. But for some things, they will move, such as practical subjects like computing and technology and music. Their form teacher will guide them really carefully with this, and the base room will be the same as their form room. And when they need to move rooms, they'll also be able to ask lots of people where to go, and they'll be fully guided to these rooms. However, we do have to do some tests toward the end of September. We have to do some CAT tests and some NGRT tests, which is a reading test to establish their literacy level. And we do these every year. We are doing them slightly later than usual this year. We haven't got any information, any SATs information from primary schools, obviously, because the students weren't there. So these are going to be important to give us a baseline information data on the students. Once we've got that information, though, we are going to place students according to ability. So students of similar ability will be taught together. This year, we're going to do something called parallel setting. So if you have brothers and sisters, or you know anyone in the years above, it will be slightly different. Now, parallel setting means that there will be 4 sets in S band and 4 in A band of similar ability. So it'll look like this. So 7S1 will be the same ability as 7A1. 7S2, same ability as 7A2, etc., etc. A range of support is also provided for students with learning or other difficulties. And if you're wondering what the S and the A are, the classes are named after saints, Catherine of Siena, S band, and Francis of Assisi, A band. So this is what a timetable looks like for a Year 7 student. And this is what it looks like if you're moving around lots of different rooms. Yours will look slightly different in September because you'll only have a base room and then a few different rooms to move to. You've got your days across the top there, an A and a B week, and then you've got your 1 to 5 periods of an hour down the side. You can see from there on Monday A1, this student has science. They're in 7S3. Their teacher is DT, who is Mr. Thompson, and they would have to go to 3S1, which is one of our labs. Up here for PE on Tuesday A1, you can see that that's a boys' timetable because it says 7B PE, and it says 7G for the girls. Okay, and you can work out all those codes as you go through. You have the subject at the top to help you. So a student has one of these in their planners, obviously needs to know whether it's A or B week, and can have a look at those at any time and plan for where they're going next. And the teachers again will help you with that. So on to talking about careers now. Little quote from Ofsted here, which very much mirrors what we think at Our Ladies. Secondary schools prepare pupils for future success in education, employment or training. They develop the careers provision and enable a range of education and training providers to speak to pupils. Pupils will get unbiased information about their next steps, and we provide high quality careers guidance. The school provides good quality, meaningful opportunities for pupils to encounter the world of work. So I, along with our careers advisor, plan for this for all year groups. In 7 to 11, we have a drop-down model where students are taken out of the main curriculum and they do all sorts of things like workshops, interviews, they might have presentations from people. We had BBC Bitesize in last year talking about different careers. And we ask external partners to come in, people from Lancaster University, people from UCLan in Preston. We have employers who come in and visit, and they work well with us and talk to students. We also have an annual Careers in the Curriculum week where students can find out how their learning relates to different careers and different subject areas. In years 7 and 8 as well, as I said before, the personal development lessons also include an element of careers, and students will learn about the importance of starting to plan for what they want to do or starting to think about where they want to go. Not just in terms of their job, but in terms of where they might like to go, in terms of after school, university, apprenticeship, whether they want to do A-levels, whether they want to go to college. So they're given advice, and they're taught, and the pathways for those things are also talked about. Thank you for that, and we'll look forward to welcoming you next year in September. If you have any further questions, I will be around a lot during the school day, usually on duty at lunchtime or at break time on the corridors or in the hall. And I look forward to meeting you. Good luck, and we'll see you soon.
Hello, my name is Mrs. Porter. I'm the assistant head teacher here at Our Ladies with the responsibility for teaching and learning. And what I've done is put together a video for you to help you navigate our educational online platform called Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams will be really important for your son and daughter this year and the years to come, particularly because their assignments and their homework will be posted on here. And also in the case of another local lockdown, this is where they will find all their work, and this is where we will conduct our online lessons. So it's really, really important that your son and daughter has a really good grasp of Teams, and that also you can assist them to use Teams as well. So this is what the aim of this video is, to give you some of an overview of how Teams works. If you have any questions, feel free to contact Miss Brogan at school, and she will pass those on to me. And we'll try and resolve anything or any difficulties that you're having as quickly as we can. I look forward to seeing you all, and I look forward to seeing all the new Year 7s in September. Take care.
Hello, I'm Miss Brogan and I'm the Progress Leader for Year 7. My main job role is to make sure we have happy, healthy and safe students. We're making the very best progress we can, behaving and doing our homework. Over the next few slides, I'm going to introduce you to some of our expectations and some of our rules and regulations regarding the COVID pandemic. As we want our students to be the best they can be, progress is very important. So please support us by checking their exercise books and looking at feedback from teachers, chatting to them about how they're doing with school, taking an active interest in the monitoring grades that are sent home, and attending their progress and parents' evenings. Encourage them to revise for their exams in the summer and make a really big fuss of their wonderful reports in July. If there are concerns, please get in contact. Homework helps consolidate learning, among other things. Approximately 1 hour per day is the amount we should be getting. Over a 2-week timetable, that means English, Maths and Science should have 2 allocations, other subjects 1, and then Art and Computing 2 allocations over a half term, although some may be project based and last a little bit longer. Students should write their homework in their planners, and it will also be on Teams. Teams is an excellent addition, and it means that students can access extra work and help sheets and hand their homework in to staff. Most students will be really pleased to know that we'll be not giving homework for the first week and a half so that all of our students can settle in and get used to school again. Some homework top tips to reduce the amount of time wasted or excuses. Make sure we work in a quiet place, make sure it's well lit. Make sure they have all the equipment they need, paper, pens, pencils, highlighters, you name it. They will find an excuse to not do homework because they haven't got a certain item. Help with time management, so it's not being rushed, that they're taking enough time to make sure they're doing a good quality piece of work. Be really positive. Try and provide guidance rather than answers. It's really easy to correct and say the answer is this, whereas actually we need them to work it out themselves. And remember that we're here to support you. So if there is something that you don't understand, your child doesn't understand, they've misheard some of the homework instructions, get in touch with the member of staff. They are more than happy to help and re-explain things. And most importantly, check planners, check teams and stay informed so that you are able to help them out and make sure that they are doing all of their homework and not getting in trouble. We believe in being positive and rewarding our students. We reward our students for the progress that they make based on their monitoring that are given by staff. They can achieve bronze, silver, gold and platinum certificates, and they are handed out during special rewards assemblies and usually handed out by Mrs. Seddon. So please be really positive if they bring home that certificate, as it means they're making some excellent progress. We also reward students for going above and beyond. So this is our Aspire Points reward system. Students start with some points at the start of each term and they cannot lose them, so they're already gaining extra points. They can then also achieve points in things like effort in learning, homework, getting involved in school life, attendance, punctuality, and they even get points for their progress certificates. Those points then means prizes, so students are entered into prize draws at the end of each term based on the number of Aspire points, and they can come home with prizes, and they also have the opportunity to be awarded Aspire badges, and those lovely shiny badges on their blazers make us really proud of them. So please make a big fuss if they do come home having won something from our prize draw or having got that sparkly badge on their blazer. Attendance is very important. If your child isn't in school, they're not sat in front of us and we can't teach them, which means that they're possibly not going to make the progress that they have the potential to make. If your child is too ill to attend, please make sure that you contact the school office and let us know as soon as you possibly can. It's important that we aim for that 97% figure, as it means that we have got them in school for the vast majority of time. We reward for good attendance, and if we do have any concerns, we will be in regular contact. Having good punctuality is vital. School starts at 8:40. Before lessons start, they go to their form rooms, and that gives them a chance to prepare for the rest of the day. We can sort out any forgotten equipment, any uniform issues, and it means that they are settled and ready to learn as soon as they go to their first lesson. So please support us and make sure that your child is setting off on time to make sure that they get into school for 8:40. Holidays. I know I've already sent an email out about holidays. It is a new government requirement, and unless there is exceptional circumstances, there should be absolutely no holidays during term time. If you need to request some time out of school, you need to make sure that you fill in a form, and you should send your child to the PSO, Mrs. Baldwin, to get one of those forms. That form then goes to Mrs. Seddon, the head teacher, and the decision will be made from there. But at the minute, the government are advising that absolutely no holidays during term time. We pride ourselves that our students are smart, and you can find this table in your handbook. If you don't have your handbook, it was sent out in the post and via email. Please let me know so that you can get another copy. Make sure that you, and I'm really sorry Year 7s, buy a uniform a little bit big so that they can grow into them. And also make sure that you have names in every single piece of uniform, particularly those that are labelled and logoed. Make sure that you have a name in them so that I can return it to each child. Also, please make sure that if you are wearing a skirt, that skirt is to the knee and that it remains on the knee for the whole year. We will ask you to replace that skirt if it does become too short. Also, that trousers are tailored. Both boys and girls can wear trousers, but they must be the tailored variety. We are also very strict on shoes. We don't allow trainers, high heels, boots or sandals, and that is for health and safety reasons. We need a really good sturdy pair of shoes as students will be walking to and from school and around school, and we don't want them to damage their feet. Please make sure that they are black and they don't have that many embellishments on. Your child should arrive wearing those shoes, and if they don't, they will be asked at the entrance to change into their school shoes. If they do not have the correct shoes, then they will be asked to wear pumps. Students must have natural hair colours and no extreme styles. If hair is short, then it must be blended. You are allowed to use headbands and bobbles, but make sure that they are dark and plain. We are not allowed to wear any jewellery apart from one small pair of gold or silver studs in the lower earlobe. No other jewellery is allowed, and all jewellery must be removed for PE. We don't allow makeup or nail varnish, and we certainly do not allow fake nails. In extreme cases, we will take students out of circulation until their hair, jewellery or makeup is correct. We do not have lockers, and our corridors become really crowded in normal times, and therefore we would like students to have a bag that allows them to carry all of their equipment with them and safely. So we only allow rucksacks. Please make sure that your child has a bag that can fit all of their equipment and their books in. Make sure it's plain and not too bright. Contact information for our uniform suppliers, which are the Uniform and Leisure Wear Company and Uniform Direct, can be found in the handbook that was sent out. Please contact me if you would like another copy. Being well equipped and organised for our lessons is really important. It wastes less learning time. So again, this equipment is also in the handbook, but please make sure that your child has all of this in a pencil case. I suggest the pencil case is also named, as when we do start to move around school, a lot of students forget to pack away and they forget their pencil case and they get left in rooms. So having a name on that pencil case will mean we'll be able to return it quickly. Keeping in contact and working together works both ways. Please make sure that we have the correct details for you. You can also update these on the parent app that you will get the access to when your child starts school. Make sure you keep us up to date of any developments, no matter how small you think they may be. They could affect your child during lessons, and we'll be able to help them out if we know about it. Don't hesitate to get in touch if you have any questions or concerns, and vice versa, we will also contact you if we need to. You should have received a data sheet, a photography permission sheet and a Type A visit sheet in your packs, and also emailed. Please make sure that those are filled in and returned as soon as possible. Some of you have already done that, and that's absolutely brilliant. You can either email them back to me, or you can send them through the post or bring them in on the first day. It's really essential that we are supported by you. We have got lots and lots of experience in school, and we are trying to work together with you to make sure that your child achieves their maximum progress. We want to be really positive, but we do have rules that need to be followed for everybody's safety. Speaking of rules, I come on to our COVID rules and regulations and the changes to our normal operating procedures in school. Our main aim is to make sure that the return to school for pupils means that they are safe and we reduce the risk of spreading COVID-19. So we're trying to do this by reducing the amount of pupil movement around school, reducing the number of contacts being made between pupils and staff, and implementing the government advised hand washing and respiratory hygiene requirements. So here are our requirements and regulations, and please just be aware, as we are in an ever-changing situation, some of this may change quite quickly. So each year group has a bubble, so we will have a Year 7 bubble, and we start the day coming through the main entrance at 8:40. There will be staff there, and we will also have some staff in case some students are late. At break time, students will hand sanitise and they will go straight to their room. So Year 7 students will have a break time outside. There will be staff covering all of the areas and making sure that social distancing is in place. No food will be served at break time, but pupils can eat their own snacks in the classroom or outside. They must hand sanitise before and after break time. During lesson time, Classrooms and the layouts of classrooms will have all the rows facing forward, and pupils will sit side by side rather than facing each other. If we need to have any discussions one-to-one, they will be kept to a minimum time as possible and will be no longer than 10 minutes. We will also try and adhere to social distancing rules here as well. Pupils will be given specific desks and designated desks in that classroom, and the seating plan will be there to aid track and trace. The only time that students will be moving around school are for practical subjects such as ICT, PE, art and so on. As I said earlier, our bubbles will also be in zones. So Year 7 will have a 3-storey chapel and stairwell, and then 3 classrooms on the bottom floor, 3 on the second floor and 2 on the top floor. It means that there will be a reduction in crossing in the corridors and so on, and then again movement will happen for practical subjects, and staff will move to base rooms rather than the students moving to staff. For PE, there will be 1 practical lesson per week, and students are required to wear their PE kit to school on that day so that we don't need to use changing rooms as there is a limited area. Extracurricular activities will not go ahead at the moment, but we will let you know when they will start up again. At lunchtimes, we will be splitting up into 3 lunchtimes, and lunchtime will be 35 minutes each. Year 7's lunch will start early at 12:20, and they will have their period 4 lesson later on. We are trialling a new cashless system, and you will be able to pre-order lunch on a phone app or by asking one of the staff in that form room. At the moment, due to COVID, we are unable to serve hot food at the beginning of term, but the lunches will be things like grab bags. We need to make sure at lunchtimes that there is effective hand washing routines, and this will hopefully reduce the risk of the spread of COVID. In classrooms, all of the doors and all of the windows will be open and aircon will be turned off. We are lucky enough to have enough toilets to spread it out, so Year 7 bubble toilets will be in the 3-storey block. Usually our behaviour system is really good and works very well, however it does involve being removed to somebody else's room. Unfortunately, this may not be able to be possible, and therefore poor behaviour or breaches of the rules in place for COVID will be really heavily sanctioned. Please be aware that when students are travelling to and from school, if they are on public transport and buses, they will need to wear face coverings. We will not be able to replace the PPE if it's lost or forgotten. Just a little shout out that alongside all the other extracurricular activities that we will be able to put in place once we have the regulations removed, there is Gift Team, and Rachel, our chaplain, is absolutely wonderful and always good for a chat if you need some quiet time, so please make sure that you look up Rachel in chaplaincy.
My name is Mrs. Loxham. I am one of the assistant head teachers at Our Ladies. I lead on safeguarding, behaviour, attendance, and I am also the SENCO in school. I know Mrs. Brogan has already spoken to you about behaviour and attendance. Within the pastoral team, we have a progress leader for each year group. Miss Brogan will be monitoring you closely to make sure you are making the progress you should be. Your pastoral support officer is Mrs. Baldwin. She will deal with any issues which you may encounter on a day-to-day basis. The best way to get in touch with either Miss Brogan or Mrs. Baldwin is always via email. Mrs. Baldwin is also safeguarding trained, so can help support pupils and their families through circumstances which occur. We can refer on to many different agencies for support and guidance. Things are a little different this year. You will be staying in your form group for all your lessons to start off with. 2 TAs will also be joining you in those form groups. So teaching assistants Mrs. Rowan and Mrs. Nixon will be in some of your lessons. It is really important that we get the work just right for you. So if you find the work a little too easy or a little difficult, it is really important to tell someone, even if this is your parents or carers, so they can email into school. You will also see 2 other TAs, Mrs. Moyer and Mr. Mort in your maths and English lessons. They are specialist teaching assistants and offer specific support in those lessons. As Miss Brogan has told you, it is very important we see you in school every day. We don't authorise holidays unless there is extreme exceptional circumstance. We want to get to know you and for you to be a full member of the Our Ladies family, so we want to see you every single day. My email address is on the school website. Please feel free to ask any questions. Meetings in school are quite difficult at the moment, but I can always ring parents and can often solve problems over the phone. We are really looking forward to meeting you and seeing you next Thursday.
Hello everyone. This section of the meeting is about well-being, which is obviously important for all our young people, and at Our Ladies we have been working very hard on this over the last couple of years and have recently achieved an award, the Wellbeing Award for Schools, so you can be confident that this is one of the areas of the life of the child in school that is very important to us. Why it's important is that the emotional well-being of children is just as important as their physical health. We talk about their physical health in school and teach them about that, but we need them to develop a good mental health, which will help them develop their resilience so they can cope with whatever they have to deal with in life, and that they can grow up to a well-rounded, healthy adults. There are a number of different areas in school that the pupils can go to for support with this. We have a group of students set up called Wellbeing Ambassadors, and they are peers support for students in school. They know that if there's anything serious that they're being told, they would refer it on, but they are there to sort of help people have an ear, somebody to listen to them, and to give them some activities to do too. We have our chaplain, Rachel Cortez, who is wonderful and is always there to listen and to encourage our young people. Our pastoral support officer, Miss Baldwin, for Year 7, but each year group has a distinct PSO. They have their own PSO who is there to look after them and listen to them and refer them on to people whatever they need. Head of year for Year 7 is Miss Brogan, but they will have different year heads as they go through school. Miss Brogan is always there for our young people, and they do develop a really good relationship with her in that first year. And then finally, form tutors who are with them from Year 7 to 11. Unfortunately, because of COVID, they won't necessarily see their form tutors every day, but in the first week of school, they will be with their form tutors for 2 hours every day, so they get to develop that relationship with their form tutor, which will carry on throughout their school life. If they need extra support, there are a number of different avenues that we can go down. Of course, young people have days when they feel bad and not so good, and it's very up and down, but we're talking here about students who maybe develop more of a problem and need more help. So those that need extra support might be referred to learning support, and the support that we give up there can be through ARC or nurture lessons. We have Ready to Learn. We have a safe base at lunch and break time for students who don't feel comfortable outside in larger groups. And we have lots of other interventions to help your child cope in school. We are very fortunate to have a school counsellor, Mrs. Truman, who students can see following arranged appointments by the PSO. So if we feel that that's a suitable thing to happen, then we will refer them, and Mrs. Truman may see them for just one session, or it might be a series of sessions. And then we have a school nurse, Mrs. Ashbridge, who can assess a young person, talk to them, and then can further refer them to a mental health nurse or doctor. We've mentioned the Wellbeing Ambassadors already. They were trained by Lancashire Mind staff, which is really good. We know that this is a project that Lancashire Mind have launched across the county in a number of different schools, and we know this is a really good project that does help young people. At home, there are things that you can do as well. I said earlier in the introduction that it is important that you show a real interest in what's going on. They might tell you that they're not bothered, they don't want to mention it, or they did nothing at school, but it's important to try and keep that talk and that time that you spend with your child, even if they might look as if they're resisting it, they do need that time with you. But also things that we mentioned here, limited screen time. Getting the right amount of sleep is really important. They shouldn't have any mobile phones or anything like that in their bedrooms, and they should have had that turned off at least half an hour before they go to bed so that they get a good night's sleep. They also need up to 9 hours of sleep at this age, and it is important that they get that. They have been in a very strange situation during COVID, and probably their body clocks have changed and they haven't been in a routine. So it's really important to try and start that as soon as we get back to school and keep that going. Physical activity is really important. Getting some exercise releases endorphins in the brain, which then makes people feel better. Family walks are something that's lovely that can happen, and again, I hope that over the lockdown that you've had opportunities to do that and find areas around where you live that you can go for a walk. Just being outside often makes us feel better. Give yourself time to enjoy moments together with your child. As we said, they're growing up, they might be becoming teenagers, moods and all those things that you may worry about, but they still want that attention. They are still young people, children, and they do need that support. Listen to and talk openly about mental health and what thoughts they may be having. It's important to talk openly and for them to understand that everybody has mental health, and it is a spectrum. It's not just a matter of being really well and not having any concerns or being clinically depressed. There is a big spectrum in between, and it's important that they talk so that if they should start becoming anxious, we can try and support that and help them out at the start. And help your child to challenge negative thinking with positivity, always looking on the bright side of things, always taking the positive things out of life in everything that they do. This will make them feel better overall. Again, reaching secondary school and body image and all sorts of other things that they worry about. So it's about trying to find the positives and appreciate what they have, and that will hopefully help them feel better about themselves. Lancashire Mind we have been working with, we are going to continue to work with them this year, whether that's virtually or whether they are able to come into school. So we will be having workshops and assemblies for students so they have the opportunity to think about these things, but also the staff are trained too, so that we are aware of what we would be looking out for and the signs that we would be looking for. So we hope that your child has a really good mental health throughout their time at secondary school. I don't want to worry everybody and make you think that this is going to be a massive issue, but it's better to talk about it now before it might be happening, so that you are aware of it and that we try all that we can do to make sure they stay with a positive mindset and that their mental health is strong and good. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Please make sure that you keep up to date with all of the information on our website, Facebook or Twitter. And if you do have questions, please email us and we will get back to you. A recording of this video will also be added to our website if you do want to look at it again.